stuff coming in. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create helpful utility functions on the front end for each of those. And then we're going to use those utility functions to make our life easier on the front end. So heading over to package.json at that level, create a folder, call it utils. Inside of there, I'm going to create something called fetch skills. I'm going to start with this one. It's going to be a TypeScript file. And the reason why I'm doing this is basically it's going to be a very easy way to go ahead and actually pull the information in. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to import the skill typing from skills, right? And this is going to be our front end call now. So the other one was the back end. This is going to be the front end, right? So we're going to say export const fetch skills. Export const, const fetch skills. It's going to be an asynchronous function. So in this case, I need to say it's an asynchronous function. Okay. And here, what I need to do is make a call to my backend. Right? So in this case, what I'm now going to do is I'm going to make the following call. So const res equals await fetch. And I'm basically doing backticks here. I'm passing in process.m.base URL /API /get skills. So basically what I showed you here is exactly what I'm doing. That's actually get socials example, but here it would have been no different. It would just be get skills like so. Okay. So that's basically what's going to come back. Okay. And then what we're going to basically say is the data is going to be await res.json, right? So a very standard programming practice, right? If you find this confusing, join us over at Zero to Full Stack Hero. I teach all this stuff inside out, right? So in this point, we basically go ahead and render it out. We are type checking to make sure that we've got the correct type. And then what you can do if you basically need to check at this point, you can put a console log there and just check to make sure that it's actually coming through. I would do that. That's what I was one of my debugging steps, right? Just to be honest with you, that's what I was doing to basically see if it was actually coming through or not, because I made a mistake one point where I wasn't fetching the correct way, okay? So we're going to do the same thing now for each of them. Fetch experience, fetch page info, and all that kind of stuff, right? So I'm going to do the same thing for fetch socials. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go ahead and copy paste. I'm going to change this to fetch socials. And now I'm going to change this to be the following, right? So basically at this point, I'm literally going to save us a bit of time. I've literally pasted this out, and just to save us time, because it's the same thing I'm doing, but with different types and different response types, okay? So very, very simple stuff that I'm doing now. Same exact principle. So instead of doing it again and again, I'm going to create this fetch projects.ts. Paste it in. There you go. The exact same. There's no difference here, guys. I'm not changing things. I'm just changing up that fact that it's a project as opposed from a skill and so forth. Okay. So I'm changing the type definitions and I'm changing the URL. The same thing I'm going to do for page info. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. Now give me 2 seconds. I'm going to do this as well for page info. So fetch page info, fetch page info.ts. Let's go ahead and do that as well. Right. And then the final one is fetch experiences. So fetch experiences. So fetch experiences.ts. Hit save, and I'm going to pop that in here as well, like so. Right. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense as to why we're doing it that way. But yeah, this is actually this is going to be really, really like a clean way of doing it. So this way now we've got 5 utility functions which are going to help us pull from our backend code. Okay, so that's going to help you out a lot when it comes to creating your clean code. Now, how do I actually pull this into the front end is the question. Well, let's go to index.tsx, and here is where the magic happens. So